What I want to talk about today is that you are decluttering in the wrong way and that you are decluttering the wrong items. So I want to talk about how I think you declutter in the right way and how you stop decluttering the wrong items. And I have followed minimalism myself in my life, and it turned out with me having decluttered a lot of things that I regret that I should have never have decluttered. So that's like my point of view when it comes to this video. That I have been a minimalist, I've tried it out for myself, and I found it to be too extreme for me, and I ended up decluttering a lot of things that I till this day still regret. And some of them I purchased back, and some of them I couldn't purchase back. So first of all, the whole spark joy thing does not work. So if you don't know, the spark joy thing is, I think it was from Marie Kondo, and it's about holding an item up and seeing how that item makes you feel, and if it doesn't make you feel good, then you declutter it. And I simply do not think that this makes sense. Just because a lot of things are practical to have, but they do not necessarily spark joy in you. They are just a useful thing that you have and that you use. So everything isn't going to spark joy. So if you do this method, you're gonna end up decluttering a lot of things that you actually need because it doesn't spark joy. Everything that we use in our life does not spark joy. So I think this is such a weird way of decluttering. And when it comes to clothing, you should only declutter an item if you're sure you will never ever wear it, if you have never worn it, or if it's something that's too small, if you've gained weight. It makes no sense to keep holding on to that item. Simply because if you've gained weight and you keep holding on to the item that is a small size, that is really gonna do some bad stuff with your self-confidence, because a piece of clothing now, every time you see it, becomes a reminder that you've put on weight. So just declutter it. You should never ever declutter something you actually wear. And if it's something where you think you're never going to use it, try to shift it up a bit. Try to style it differently. So I had a dress that I thought I was never going to wear because the sleeve fell down when I had it on. But then I thought about, let's try style for the colder seasons. So putting a sweater on and putting some leggings on. And when I did that, I actually liked the dress. So try to use the clothing in different styles than you normally would, and maybe then you actually like the item and you will actually wear it. And I think the goal is really to actually wear the item, because I think what we really forget is that the clothing we have bought is bad for the environment. There's no way around it, but it's really bad for the environment if you do not wear it its entire life. So if you declutter something before it has been worn to its maximum, when it's totally ruined. So if you haven't worn it that long, it's gonna end up most of the time probably in landfill, and that's just really bad for the environment. So really only get rid of clothing you really absolutely cannot wear, either because it's small or just you hate it, you really hate it when you have it on, or you feel uncomfortable when you have it on. So it's something you have to be really sure about, that you're never ever gonna wear. Do not declutter something you have worn. And for something you think you dislike in a certain way, try to change it up and wear it in a different way. For example, me with the dress, I do not like to have it on summertime, but I like to have it on the colder season, because then I put a sweater on and then it doesn't annoy me that the sleeves fall down, because they don't really fall down when I wear it in that kind of a way. And this also comes back to, you really need to be honest with yourself with the clothing that you bring into your home. You really have to be certain that's something you're going to wear. And we are all going to make mistakes. But if we make mistakes, we have to learn from them. We have to see, why was this a mistake? But I also think mistakes can be turned into something useful. Just like me and the dress I bought. Try to style it up in a different way and see if you can't get use out of it then.
The goal is actually not to declutter something. It's actually trying to use it and get a new purpose out of it, so it isn't as bad for the environment. It's really bad when you just buy something and throw it away before it has lived its entire life cycle and is completely ruined.
And when it comes to decluttering items in general, It should really only be items you do not need and that you do not have an attachment to any longer. Don't declutter things you actually use. That is when you're gonna end up regretting it and repurchasing the items. And as I talked about earlier, some items you simply just can't repurchase, and that makes it even harder. That makes it even stronger regret when something you can't get back. So for me, example of some lilac piece of clothing I decluttered and I really regret it. There's actually a lot of clothing items I regretted. And because it's fast fashion, you can't buy them back because they've already went out of season. I ended up with a lot of regret simply because my goal was having less. And that can easily become really toxic because then you forget who you are and then you forget your personality in all of this. So say rather take your time and make sure you're decluttering the right items instead of going to extreme and quickly with decluttering so you end up regretting items you have gotten rid of. Because regret, that's just really the worst thing. So really take your time with it and really be sure this is the item you're not gonna miss. And if you're unsure, you can always leave the item in a box for a year or something. And don't just do it for a month or something like that. Make it into a longer time period because some things we only use maybe a couple of times a year, but they're still really useful. So I hope that could help you a little bit with how you could declutter in a more useful way and how you might be decluttering in the wrong way. I really hope this video is useful for you. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you will like this video and subscribe if you like me and my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Catherine and I do videos about being child-free by choice, about living an intentional life, such as this video, and other topics I find interesting. I hope to see you in another video.